at the Living Arts and Science Center. My name is Miss Ashley, and behind the camera, as always, we have Miss Heather.
Hello.
So while we wait for a few more friends to hop on here, each week we start off with an animal here at the center. And don't tell the other animals that this one is my favorite. So come on in, I want you to meet him. His name is Sunny, and he is a bearded dragon. He is less than a year old. And Heather, what is his favorite treat?
Ooh, Sunny eats a pretty wide variety of items. He loves his fruits and his veggies, but I think his favorite is probably crickets. He loves chasing crickets.
Now, what's this special red light we have?
So that is a type of light that helps keep him warm. So Sunny is, he's native to Australia, which means that he's from Australia. So he really likes warm, hot temperatures. So that light just helps keep him warm.
He is so fun to watch. All right, say bye, Sunny. When you guys are here, you can come say hey to him. He likes to say hey. So, I am very, very excited about today's project. We're going to be reading a story called Pet Show. And today, I brought my own pet. His name is Kentucky, but I call him Tuck. He is a French bulldog. So we're going to come in here to our Explorers classroom where we have a lot of our field trips. We're going to get going, so follow me. Let's shut the door behind us. This is Tuck. So Tuck is just about 4 years old. I got him when I was a puppy. When he was a puppy. Oh, he's shy. You want to come out and say hi? Come here. This is the most shy he's ever been. He's super friendly. So he is.
Oh, monkey.
All right. So we're going to come on in with our story, Pet Show by Ezra Jack Keats. And maybe your pets are sitting next to you at home. They'll enjoy this story too. Everyone was talking about the Pet Show. Pet Show, Saturday at 11 o'clock. And there's prizes. The kids told each other about the pets they would bring. Matt said he would bring ants. I'm gonna bring my mouse, bragged Roberto. What are you gonna bring, Archie? The cat? Uh-huh, said Archie. The next day, they all got ready for the pet show. Where's the cat? Archie called. Has anyone seen the cat? Archie and Willie looked in the cat's favorite hangouts, but Peter and Susie searched up and down the street. No cat. That's Willie. That's his other dog, his other pet. Archie's mother came to the window. Where could that cat be? He asked her. You know how independent he is, Archie. You never know when to expect him. But I expect him now. It's time for the pet show. Maybe he's inside somewhere. Archie ran into the building. After a while, he came to the window. I can't find him. I looked all over the place. You better start without me. Gee, we're sorry, Archie, said Peter. So long, said Susie. They were off to the pet show. We got a mouse on his head. They got to the entrance, and a lot of people were already there. Just then, Roberto's mouse took off. Willie chased the mouse. Roberto chased Willie. Peter chased Roberto. Susie chased Peter. And the show started. It's like a big parade of pets and people. Line up with your pets, please, the judges called. They walked up and down, looking carefully at every pet and asking, how old is your pet? And what's your pet's name? It looks like we got a goldfish. I see Willie. I think I see a bird. More fish. There may be some ants in that one. Everyone got a prize for something. There was the noisiest parrot, the handsomest frog, and the friendliest fishes, the yellowest canary, the busiest ants, the brightest goldfish, the longest dog, the fastest mouse, the softest puppy, the slowest turtle, and many more. As the last prize was awarded, someone shouted, "Look, here comes Archie!" Maybe he found his cat. "Hello, you're just in time," the judge said. "What's in that bag?" "My pet." "May I see it, please?" And that moment, the cat showed up. That's not in the bag. The other judge called out, "A blue ribbon to the nice lady for the cat with the longest whiskers." Before anyone could say anything, he pinned a blue ribbon on the old woman and came back to Archie. "What kind of pet do you got in that jar?" "A germ," said Archie. So what's your germ's name?" Archie thought for a moment. "Al," he said. The judges whispered to each other. "A blue ribbon for Al, the quietest pet in show," the judges announced. As everyone was leaving, the old woman came over to Archie. "He's really your cat, isn't he?" she said. "You should have the ribbon." "It's okay," Archie said. "You keep it." And he ran to join all his friends. They passed the old woman on their way home. "Thank you for the ribbon," she called. Archie smiled. "It looks great on you. See you around." "See you around," she said. The end. So if your pet was in a pet show, what kind of award do you think your pet would get? Now, Mr. Tuck, I think he would get a couple awards. He would get stinkiest toots, because they're pretty stinky, and loudest snore. He snores louder than any person I have ever met. So there's Stinky Toot and Mr. Snoreman. Those would definitely be the awards he got. All right, so let's get working on our craft. So the materials that you're gonna need today are a couple pieces of paper, some washable paint, a fork, some glue, either a glue stick or regular liquid glue, and some scissors. So let's come on over here and I'll show you what we got. So we are going to make our very own pet masterpieces. We're going to use our scissors and cut out some shapes, and then we're going to use our fork and our fingers to paint our pet. So if you want to paint your own pet, you can do that. I painted a cat, just like Archie's. But I think today I'm going to paint Tuck, since I have him here as my model. If you would like to create Tuck, that would be fun. But you can also create the pet you have sitting next to you. So since Tuck is mainly white with black spots, I'm going to use my black paper as my background. And I'm going to cut him out of my white paper. So I'm going to start with his head. And now his head is a circle. Depending on what kind of pet you have, it might be a different shape. So I'm going to make a circle. And then I'm going to do his body. Now his body is a little different than his head. It's a lot longer. So in our brains, let's imagine a football. And then we're going to draw that football but cut it in half. I'll show you what I mean. we were to keep drawing, it would come to a point like that. So here's his body. It's a half of a football. Here's his head, that when we cut it out, we'll glue it on top here. And then what else does he need? I think he's missing some ears. Tuck has really pointy ears. So I'm going to draw some triangles down here at the bottom. Now Tuck doesn't have a very big tail. Kind of has a little, I call it a little thumb. It's like the size of your thumb. But if your pet has a tail, now's the time to draw it. So if your pet has a long tail like a cat, maybe you want it to be wavy. So we're going to make a squiggle mark right here. And then next to it, do another squiggle mark. And then we'll connect it with a little half circle up top. And now, we're going to cut out all of our shapes. So you and your grown-up can work together on this one, cutting out the parts that feel safe for you to cut out, and letting your grown-up do the parts that aren't safe for you to cut out. Now while we're cutting, if you want to comment some of your pets, Miss Heather would love to share those with me. So you can tell me what kind of pet you have, what name your pet has, and maybe what kind of award your pet would get. Would your pet get stinkiest toots like Tuck? What about you, Miss Heather? Do you have any pets at your house?
Ooh, we have lots of pets. We have 3 dogs and a tarantula.
A tarantula? Oh my goodness. What's your tarantula's name?
Her name is Squish.
Squish. How cute.
Yeah, we would love to see your guys' pets. Please share.
And then after you're finished making your masterpiece, if you want to comment a photo of your masterpiece and maybe name it with your pet name, we'd love to see it. Squish, how long have you had your tarantula?
I would say like a year.
Wow.
She's little.
Little. All right, so I have all of my pieces of Tuck cut out. I'm not going to give him a tail since he doesn't have a big one. But if you want to cut your part out, you can. Okay, so I have my glue. I'm using a glue stick because it's a little easier for me to use. But liquid glue works great too. So I'm going to roll my glue up. And then I'm going to cover the back of his body, making sure I go all the way to the edge of this paper. So that way it sticks really well. So all the way around the edge and here in the middle. And I'm going to put the side with the glue. I'll go this way. Right there. So our shape that looks like half of a football, which is our pet body, we've got it down there. And what's on top of his body? His head. So let's add our glue to our head, making sure we get the corners and the edges of the paper so it sticks really well. And I'm going to put it so it covers the body just a little bit. Smooth it out and squish it on our paper. Squish, 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 squish. Now, for his ears. And Tuck has some pretty big ears. Making sure I go all the way to the corners. And 1. Corners and 2. So now, if you're following along, we have the base of our masterpiece. We have our animal cut out and ready for painting. So I told you we're going to need a fork. Sometimes we paint with paintbrushes, and that's good. But I really like how the fork makes it look kind of like hair coming off these animals. So you'll notice as we're painting, all we have to do is dip our fork in and it gives a really cool hair look to our animals. So the colors I chose today are black, white, and brown. Because if you look at Tuck, he's mainly white with some spots of black. And then inside of his black spots, he's got something called brindle. And that's when like brown and kind of lighter colored blonde hairs come through. It's not a solid spot. It's called brindle. So I'm going to add a little bit of that. Now my version of Tuck is kind of realistic, but you can make a really abstract painting of your animal. What does abstract mean? Do you guys know? So abstract means it's kind of not like real life. So maybe your cat is purple. That would be an abstract cat. Or maybe your cat has 3 eyeballs. That would be an abstract cat. So it's not like a real cat. You can do that with your colors if you want to get creative. So I'm going to start with my finger and give Tuck some eyes. So I've got a little bit of paint on my finger. I'm going to make a circle. A little more paint. And a circle. And Tuck has a big nose. That's kind of like a triangle. And then I'm going to use my finger to make a little smile. And then Tuck also has some spots. So I'm going to do a couple spots on him. With my finger. Now I'm going to come in with my fork. I'm going to dip my fork into this brown paint. And I'm going to add some brindle to my dots. Ooh, look at that. Just put it down and it makes those hair shapes. I'm going to add a little white. Make those spots look different. And now I'm going to come in and give him lots of hair around his body. There's a couple different ways that you can do this. So I'm just laying my fork down and kind of squishing it down. But you can also drag your fork across and make the hairs really long. So I start here and I pull it down and I make really long hairs. So if your pet has long hairs, that might be a way to do that. Now what if your pet has curly hair? So I'm going to take my fork and I'm going to squiggle. Go back and forth. Ooh, kind of looks like curly poodle hair now. And we can't forget his ears. He's got lots of hair in his ears. We'll add a little brown up here for his brindle.
So Janice Fernheimer commented that we have a bearded dragon. His name, get ready for this, is Sparks Acorn Desert. He is 3 years old and we adopted him.
That is amazing, and that's a really cool name. Sparks Acorn Desert. That sounds like a team effort of a name if I've ever heard one. How exciting. Thank you for sharing. They're fun. My brother has a bearded dragon at his home, and his name is Banjo. I like bearded dragons. They're fun. All right, I'm going to do a couple more spots just to finish this up. And look how hairy Tuck is. He's got hair all over him. He's so silly. All right. I hope you share your masterpieces with us in the comments once you're finished. Let us know your animal's name and how old it is and maybe where you got it. That'd be a fun thing. And we'll comment back and share. So every week when we end our pre-K art day, we like to sing Don't Worry, Be Happy. That way the rest of our week is a happy one. If you don't know the words, grown-ups sing real loud. We do this song every week, so you'll learn more and more of the words each week. Right. I'll nod you in when it's time for you to sing. Here we go. Here's a little song I wrote. You might like to sing it note for note. Don't worry. Be happy. Sometimes in life you get some trouble, but when you worry, make it double. Don't worry. Be happy. Here's the fun part. Thank you so much for joining us. Tuck, come here. Come say goodbye. Come here. He's looking out the window. Thanks for joining Tuck and I and Miss Heather on another pre-K art day. I hope you share your masterpieces and snuggle up with your pets. Have a wonderful week, friends.